This is the driver's side. I'm just started to rework it by heating it up and using various different sandpapers to get it back into shape. Like I said, this is just roughed out. I'm going to show you the finished product soon, but yeah, I'll be able to fix this. Here's that section after it's warmed up, and I punched out most of the deformations here. I got to work on it a little bit more. I'm going to keep at it. Alright guys, I'm just going to give you a progress shot of what I'm doing so far. As you saw from the damage, this thing was trashed. I stretched it all out by heating it up with the heat gun, and then I use a wood paddle to basically stretch the plastic back into shape. And then I used 80 grit to get all the road rash. And the way I do it is I go in this direction and then I go in this direction. That's just so you make sure you get all the deep and heavy gouges out. So this is a progress shot. This piece is going to be fixed. As you can see, it's all reshaped, recontoured, looking good. Now this one, I started working on this already. This one had a really big bend right here and a lot of deep road rash over here. So I'm going to show you quick with the heat gun how I do this. Similar to like a paintless dent removal technique, you're going to heat the material up. Well, in this case it's plastic. You're going to heat the material up, and then you're going to go behind it and you're going to stretch the material back, and I'm sure you could see that. And you're going to just stretch it back. And the trick with plastic, don't go too hot, keep the heat gun moving, and you know, you could have a wet rag on hand in case you want, if you overstretch it, you want to shrink it down real quick. But I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this forever. So as you could see, I pretty much got this entire deformed area back into shape, and it only took me a couple of minutes. So that's where we're at with that. And as far as here, you could see it. I mean, I got a couple of deep scratches here, but like I said, I'm not going to go over here. I'm not going to fix this. This is going to get hit every day anyway, as you could see. I mean, I'm not going to waste my time with this. I want to get from this reveal all the way through. This is where I'm going to be refinishing it, from here over all into there. So I already hit this area here with a little 220. I used some Norton dry ice, and that's just to break where this thing was bent. It kind of leaves a little imperfection in the actual texture. So with a little bit of heat and a little bit of 220, you could kind of knock that down, and as you could see, you no longer see that halo, that line that was indicating that this thing was twisted. So just do a little bit of this, a little bit of massage work. I mean, I'm not going to do a full time-lapse video. The video will probably be like an hour and a half long. The hardest part of the job so far has been getting these pieces off. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass to get these things off. But like I said, you got the screws up here, and these clips don't come out. But like I said, use the heat gun, go all the way across the bottom of the front spoiler, pull it, pops right out. So last night I didn't want to pull out the heat gun. I was a little tired and lazy, and this morning at 5:30 it popped out in a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to work this a little bit more, and then I'm going to turn the camera back on and I'm going to show you the finished progress of the resurfacing of both parts, and then we're going to discuss about the refinishing and retexturing. Okay guys, I got my my Mirka Deros dual action DA. This thing is absolutely incredible. It's expensive. I mean, this with the dust collection system is like $1,200, but you know, I use it a lot and it's incredible. So I'm just going to go over this at a slow speed just to knock this area down a little bit. Now we still have a gouge, a little dimple here, here, and here. I mean, there's enough meat on the plastic that you can get that out. There's another technique where you could fill that in with like a CA glue and an activator. I don't really want to do that on something this little. I'm just going to keep working it until I get it out. So when you're working with plastic, you don't want to go too far, so just work it a little bit, stop it, and see your progress. Like I said, this is all gone already, and we still have that one little mark right there, but believe it or not, this actually might get covered up when this is installed. Let me see. No, it actually doesn't. So I'm gonna keep working it, and I'm using the edge because I don't want to resurface too much. All right, got it all out. This is completely gone. We got a little bit right here, but like I said, it doesn't take much with plastic. As you see, as you know, with the DA, it heats it up and it kind of creates these little shavings. So like I said, you want to go slow. You don't want to go too far where you're going to take too much material off. And like I said, I wanted to keep the texture here and here because, like I said, I'm going to do a blend, and you know, you want to keep some of the factory texture there just so you could feather it in. Okay, you see, created a little too much heat right there. So I'm going to switch to a 320, and this is Abranet. It's actually like a mesh sandpaper that's specific to this system. So we got rid of that heat mark, and I'm just going to work the edge. I want to get the edge nice and contoured. Okay, I mean, this is so far fixed structurally. All the road rash is gone. The bend and twist over here is gone. It was twisted here. I fixed that at the clip. And like I said, I may just go and, yeah, while I'm here, I'm just going to DA this a little bit more, even though you're not going to see it. And like I said, I'm not going to waste my time sanding this out because I'm going to smash this continuously. This is going to happen. You own this car, this is going to happen on a regular basis. So get used to it, learn how to repair it, or spend $400 to buy replacements and keep them in stock, because my parts supplier told me today it's about a 2-week lead time, and I says, fuck that, I'm going to fix this thing myself because I am not driving around my car for 2 weeks like this. And look, we'll switch to the other side. You see, this is normal wear and tear every day. So that's one of the issues with the car being so low. It's got really low overhangs, and the distance between the front wheel and tire to the front of the car is enough that when you go on an incline, you're gonna smash it, you're gonna destroy it. But like I said, good thing it's not carbon fiber. Otherwise, this would be a total pain in the ass to fix. And if it was carbon fiber or fiberglass, I could fix it. I fixed those many times on Ferraris and other exotic cars over the years, and then it's just a lot more work and a lot more time. And like I said, for the cost of a replacement part, I wouldn't do this job for a customer unless the part was indefinitely back ordered, just because of the time, the materials, and everything else involved. So stay tuned. We're moving along here. All right, so we're just going to do one quick pass with a little 400 by hand, just to break any surface irregularities that are in there. And like I said, I blended a little bit up here because I'm going to be spraying this whole area, but barely use any pressure when you're doing this, because if you go too much with the 400, you're going to start polishing the plastic, and then that's not really what you want for good adhesion and to actually duplicate that texture. And the way I'm going to get the texture, like I said, I may not be able to show you on camera because I got to put on you know, my protection gear. I got to mix some paint with a little plasticizer. I'm going to hit this with some Sherwin-Williams plastic prep, just so it actually eats into the surface of the plastic and gives it good tension. Then I'm going to put a plastic adhesion promoter. I'm just going to give it a quick mist on all ends, on both parts. And then I'm going to mix a little bit of black and charcoal paint. And then I'm going to adjust my spray gun, usually with less pressure and less material coming out of the gun. And I want it to almost splatter in a way. It's hard to explain, but you want it to lay down, not in a wide, fine fan spray, because you actually want to get it to replicate some of this texture. I mean, you can use a texture spray, but I found that on something like this is a very fine texture. The texture spray looks like undercoating, so it's hit or miss with that stuff. So I have better luck with just adjusting the spray gun. I have an Iwata touch-up gun that I use, And if you play around with it and you do it in the right way and you feather it in, this is going to be an invisible repair when it's on the car. And like I said, look at this. I mean, this is all fixed, completely fixed, reshaped. All the road rash is gone. And now I'm going to DA this little guy here, get this thing ready, for prep. And then I'm going to probably shoot this in a little while. I'm just going to probably eat some breakfast and shoot this in a little while. All right, I hope you guys can see this on camera. I started DAing this a little bit more. And like I said, you got a couple of deeper scratches in here, but with this sander and its very fine orbit rotation, you don't take a lot of material off, and if you can't feel it, but I'm just telling you, you could actually feel with the technique you have texture here, a very fine texture. So this is actually the way you want to fix this. If you sand it too smooth and it becomes too slick, it's going to look stupid, it's not going to match, and then you're going to say, oh, I should have just bought a new part. But with a little patience, a little technique, and a lot of finesse, if you know what you're doing, you can fix this all day long very easily. So I'm just going to work this a little bit more. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to put all the footage in there. The video is going to be too damn long and nobody's going to sit there and watch it. But just showing you progress along the way. Stay tuned. Driver's side is completely finished, fixed, ready for prep and paint. Center section fixed, prep, and now it's ready for prep and paint. And like I said, this is going to come out awesome. Stay tuned for the finished result. I'm going to do a walk around. I'm going to show you the original material, and I'm going to show you the retextured material, and I'm going to show you how I blend everything in. I got to take the camera off the head. I got to put my respirator on and my coveralls. I got to go mix some paint, and I'm not going to be able to film this because I don't have a tripod right here, and I can't have the camera on my head while I'm working with all these chemicals. It's just going to be a nightmare. So hang tight. You're going to want to grab a tack rag, get all the dust and crap off this as best as you can. And like I said, I apologize for all the noise. It's damn noisy over here today. And then I use a Sherwin-Williams adhesion promoter in the aerosol. I use this all the time for spot repairs like this. And you're just going to want to feather it in. You don't want too much. You don't really need much. Okay, and it's already starting to kick and it evaporates. So that would be done. Let me go get the other part. I'm going to tack it. Then we're going to feather it in. And like I said, this is just to make sure that the paint is going to bond properly. And it actually helps with the flex. But like I said, this is a piece that doesn't necessarily flex. And look, just even by spraying this on, it actually brought the color back. But that's that. All right, so I got to start mixing the real toxic stuff now. So I got to get the camera off my head. I got to put my respirator on and all the gear. And once this thing sets up, I'm going to grab the Awada touch-up gun, play around with the pressures, do a couple of tests on pieces of cardboard, and then I'm going to start shooting this. All right, so after the plastic prep and then the plastic adhesion promoter, I mixed a quick batch of 2K primer. I used a high build epoxy primer, and I pretty much apply it when I'm doing this kind of stuff using like a pulse action on the trigger of the gun. And you could see, this will give you a good indicator that the texture now looks completely uniform with the factory texture over here. So I mean, it looks good. I mean, I'm not going to sand this anymore. I'm going to just let this kick over for a little while and cure. And then I'm going to mix the paint and I'm going to blend it all in. So I just wanted to show you guys the progress. Mixed up some paint, and like I said, this is the base coat. This is going to be the just to cover up the gray, the light gray primer. And like as you can see, it's starting to look really, really damn good. The blend is going to be here, and I just have to mix a little bit more sheen into the paint. So that's just, I got to play around with it, and I'm going to adjust the gun a little bit more. But right here, this is dry, and it's got the texture. I could feel it. You could see it. And same thing on this guy. Like I said, it's all about technique. With the spray gun, the right materials, and the right technique, you can pretty much fix anything. Working on exotic cars my entire life, anytime you cause damage, you got to fix that shit. Otherwise, it's going to cost you a lot of money to repair. So that's pretty much how I went about learning how to do all of this stuff. Is just, you know, I seen guys that I would be working with, and they'd make mistakes, they'd smack things up, and, you know, working in the body shop for so many years and just learning by observation. And I hope some of you guys could pick some of this stuff up. And all you guys with GT350s that drive them on a regular basis, you're going to smash this part up. So hope this video helps you guys, and have a little bit of hope that you could fix this instead of spending $400 every time to do this, or even more if you brought it to a body shop or to a dealer. They'd probably charge you $800 to fix this. Like I said, this is just a progress shot, so stay tuned. I got to put my gear back on. I'm going to play around with a little bit with the paint a little bit more and the gun, so stay tuned. So guys, that's the this is the third coat of paint. I hope you guys can really see the progress. It's looking outstanding so far. Texture is spot on perfect. Color match is spot on perfect. And like I said, I'm just playing around with the sheen. I'm giving it a couple of coats. I want good coverage. I want good adhesion. But like you could see, you don't see the primer anymore. You don't see any of the imperfections. They're gone. It's fixed. This is a permanent professional repair. This piece still has to dry a little bit more. But when I'm done, if there is any sheen between the blend area and the factory piece, I use a little bit of plastic polish on a rough microfiber cloth, and I tend to blend it in just a little bit. Or you could use like a very aggressive compound, auto body compound, because you don't want anything too fine. You don't want to polish it, and you don't want to get any kind of waxes or, you know, any other chemicals in the grooves, because then when you go in there to clean it out, you're just going to see the blend line. But so far, this is looking great. I'm happy with it. This is going to be on the car in a little while. And over here, I got a little overspray on the white lettering. Not a big deal. I'm just going to take a little bit of lacquer thinner with one of the easy dabbers and clean that up when it's on the car. I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to wait for it to be installed on the car. And when the car's on the ground, I'll just go and touch that up. But other than that, all the other letters are fine. I mean, I could have taken these off, and I could have, you know, sprayed the entire panel, but to be honest with you, I didn't really want to wait another week to 10 days to get another set of letters, you know, and then peeling this off and then cleaning all the residue from the 3M94 primer. I didn't want to deal with it. Not being lazy, I just didn't want to deal with it. I wanted to see how successful this repair was going to come out, and as you can see, looks great. Solved the problem, looks awesome. And like I said, last night I cracked this thing up pretty good, and you know, it's 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and this is almost finished. So stay tuned. I'll show you the final shot when it's done, and then we're going to go over and put it on the car, and I'm going to show you the completed project. All right, folks, there you go. It is fixed. It looks absolutely outstanding. I mean, some of you guys probably won't believe that this thing was just repaired. No, I mean, you saw it step by step what I did, and here's the finished product right here. It looks great. Professional repair. It took me about an hour and 45 minutes. Like I said, the biggest time-consuming part of the job is getting the pieces off. It's a little tricky, but like I said, I put the car up on these stands that I made. I'll do a video on these one day soon. I mean, I have a couple of versions of these that I use, and I just like to put the car up on these stands that I made out of 2x4s, just because I feel it's a lot safer than jack stands, and I don't know, for me it's just easier to work on. Sometimes I put the car up on all fours if I'm doing transmission work at home, but either way. So there you have it. That's the repaired front spoiler. So I'm gonna get the jacks under the car now and drop it down on the ground, and I'll take a couple of quick shots of it with the camera. All right, I just moved the car over in the shade a little bit, but just wanted to show you guys the finished product of the GT350 front spoiler repair after you guys smash it into a driveway or an incline or a curb or a parking curb or whatever. It can be fixed. I just proved it. It took me, you know, a little bit of time, but I have all the equipment and the tools, and I know how to do this stuff. But hope you guys learned something, and if it happens to you, take some time and try to repair it. Unless you want to spend, you know, a couple $100 or even more to go send it to someone and have it fixed. So hope you guys have a good one. Questions, comments, post it below. Thanks.